Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing amazing. It's Margot Mastery, your heartfelt CFO. I am crazy excited to be here live with you today. I actually miss this so much going on regularly, in a tax firm with year end. It's been quite hectic and busy. A lot of our clients are moving and jiggling and making moves. It happens to have been a close last year of 2025. Really, really, I'll be honest, it happens to be really, really amazing. We're going to have a guest speaker in a few weeks, so stay tuned. Oh, actually, I think it's next week. So stay tuned for the schedule. I'm excited to share one of our clients' progress. Um, Not only has he come a long way, he's made a lot of breakthroughs around his family, himself, and really, doing what he loves and seeing our clients win. There's just no greater gift. I wonder how you guys are doing this year end. This happens to be year two where I call it attempted to close year end because I gave my team off, we closed, but I found myself in like different spurts of like, oh my gosh, because this wasn't done and this was happening and all of these things. And it was really, really cool to see. And there's a lot of exciting content coming out for 2026. I really suggest keep your notifications on and really even put a note on your calendar because it really, really is going to change your life. It's going to knock your socks off. The HCT team is really working hard to share this all. And I say this to say it was like a lot of what's coming out is like what has been in the making. And there's just so much. Um, I've been away, and this trip, it was more for me around my well-being. I just moved, and being in a new home has been really, really, I'm going to call it healing and like just eye-opening when you set your eyes to goals of what you can do and what you want to do, how many things can happen side by side. And what I've done was take those lessons and put them into content, share them with our clients so that you all can win too. As in my wildest dreams, I never thought a lot of what we're doing in the business and for myself can be done. However, it's happening easier, faster, and more aligned than ever. And when these things start to come together, it's really, really cool. And I say this because a lot of people also struggle with building a team. Looking back at how hard it was for me to have the right team, the right people, and the right resources also too, because I'll be honest with you and I'll be straight. It's not just about money. It's about the right people seeing your alignment of the same vision. And when your team wants the same thing as you and they're in your vision, I don't want to call it your vision because it's the business vision, right? We're here on this earth as business owners because we got elected with this purpose. And when you find people who agree to that vision and see the same thing and can contribute, it's just it's just such a whole new way. It's less explaining, it's less exhausting, it's less draining, it's less leaking on profit. And it's not even just less leaking on profit, it's just less expenses. And it just starts to um, evolve more than ever. So, as I call my team the business dream team, I say this even more like my HCT dream team. I love talking to them all the time, and I can't say it enough. I am just so grateful. And it's not only just because we have a good team, it's that people are seeing the purpose, people are seeing the value, and more and more lives are being changed, which is why we're here. So, Let's jump into today's topic as there has been a lot going on. And what I did was, along with my team, of course, when I say I, us at HCT, have really dived into the topics of what has been the pains of what's going on with our clients. What has been making the movement? What has been making the strides? What has been making people really quantum and jump leaps? And I mean jump leaps. So today's topic is not just knowing your numbers, but real numbers. How CEOs actually set up to win in 2026. So just a little bit about me in case you're new to my channel, the first time on live, on replay, or maybe you follow me and you forgot who I am. I didn't follow the traditional path in accounting. I really was always feeling like something was missing. And for me, it was how I learned that accountants never talk about how money is emotional. Business ownership is even emotional, and the stories we carry shape every decision that we make. And I built HCT to help owners like you replace fear with clarity, make calm, grounded decisions, build a strategy that actually works for your practice. And I say this to say, just taking this out of context, is that clients ask me all the time around, like, I need you to make decisions. It's like a big thing that business owners rely on accountants. But when you learn from where your decisions are coming from, you become independent on that skill and not reliant, or in the health world, they call it like codependent. And you have less regret and resentment around the decisions, and things may not have gone the way you want it to go. My goal is for mental health business owners, formal, professional service-based owners, CEOs, 6, 7, 8-figure and beyond business owners that have that big vision. Maybe you have multiple entities, or maybe you're evolving and you're ready to dive in. So our work is in alignment with all of that. So if your self-trust, your alignment, and being the decision maker has been off, and that's something that you're interested in, you're going to work well in our content so that you can make these quantum leaps. The real start of the year is now. You probably saw how a lot of people, the year end is kind of like a recap and what they want, and a lot of it already died out. And I'm recording this on the day of January 15th, and I already see how a lot of people have died out in terms of these goals. And I'll tell you, when I saw it this year, I felt like zero connection on doing it, because the work is every day. It's not reflected on year end, beginning of the year. It's every day you get a chance. So a year doesn't start with goals or plans. It starts with how clearly a CEO can see. I want to say that again. The year begins with how clearly you, as the CEO, the business owner, can see. I was away in Miami, and I'll be honest with you, I did not realize how much I couldn't see clearly because I was just tired. And a lot of times when you're the business owner and you have a dream team like mine, they're carrying it a lot. And also at the same time, you're also used to working from that way. And it's not good. So when numbers are unclear and every decision costs more energy than it should. Why growth creates pressure? Growth increases the number of financial decisions as a CEO must make. I actually want to go back to this and say every decision, when it costs more in energy than it should, it's kind of like what I'm saying around it was like decision, it was like fatigue decision. It wasn't like burnout, which is like the common phrase that people use, because I wasn't burnt out. I love my business. I could go on and on and on and work on it like 24/7, because it's I love where it's going and how it helps people and how it helps me. But it cost me an energy, because I'll tell you, the second I got to Miami, the second I was on the flight and different parts, like these decisions that I was struggling with, they just came. And all of a sudden, the clarity just came through. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do that. That makes sense. For sure. Let's do that. And then as these things come through, I was like, huh. And at home, they felt heavy. So, why does growth create pressure? Growth increases the number of financial decisions a CEO makes. That's what it comes down to. It's like decision fatigue. So, more money moving at once, more time sensitive choices, more consequences when decisions are delayed, less room for guessing. So, without clarity, growth turns leadership into a reaction. And I'm going to give you a story. So, more money moving at once. I'm going to give you a story. I have a close friend of mine who their close friend, if you could follow that, has a sick parent. And they were talking about how this family has all this money, all this wealth, and different things. But at the same time, what was happening is that there was really no money in the bank. So they were really check to check. The father just bought like a really expensive car, and it was kind of like he was on his deathbed. And I said to him, this car he bought, and the close friend of mine, so these two mirroring people, I said, it's the same problem. He also had a problem with his car because of generational wealth and different things. And I was like, so your car, let's say, is 25,000 and this car is 200,000. It's the same problem that existed, but at a different capacity in terms of a number. So it's like living the life of being in Las Vegas at a different level of what you're willing to risk. So it's almost like your ego is getting stronger and louder and more intense by the decisions that you make. And it really does come down to what your pocket can handle and afford to carry. Because if your basic foods and needs are not met, all of these things are considered reactive. So the CEO question shift is, how much did we make? But a winning CEO actually asks, what decision does this allow me to make? It's qualified and more quality questions than more concrete, because concrete only gets so far. It's like, where is this all going? How winning CEOs operate. Winning CEOs don't move faster, they see sooner. I call it the comeback rate. How quickly can you come back when you see something wrong or different? Patterns appear earlier, adjustments happen before problems grow, decisions feel lighter and not heavier. So those decisions that I was making over Miami, they were not heavy, they were light as ever. And I was sitting next to the pool, and it was actually my first time, maybe ever, honestly, that at the pool I had poolside service where I got a drink, and I think it was called a Miami Vice. And I was watching somebody with a drink, and I was like, that looks really sweet. Like, that looks really cool. And she told me what it was. And I was like, that's interesting, because those are the two drinks I wanted to have. And, you know, it was nice to like instantly celebrate that decision, because it really helped an area of my business that I don't want to call it struggling. It just made things move easier and flow. So when these things happen, it's like, you're like, oh, how could I not know that? And when the adjustments happen before the problems grow, this is part of becoming proactive, or a lot of people call it not being reactive. But reactive is just a result of procrastination. And as I say this to say, is that in some ways everybody has this, but it's what you want to do about it. The foundation of a winning year, every strong year rests on three pillars. Pillar one is clarity. Clarity means knowing what is true right now, where cash actually stands, cash does rule, what changed this month, and what the numbers are signaling. Clarity removes noise from leadership. Once you actually know, so this is where cash or the numbers, it actually speaks volume on the clarity, where the concreteness you need, because without the clarity, you can't move on to the next steps. So why clarity gets delayed, it's often postponed because numbers feel unsafe. Too many reports, not enough meeting, fear of seeing something wrong, past experiences of confusion or judgment, and avoidance fades when numbers become usable. So when you have this, it just starts to play into the wrong avenues. So the next part of this is control. Control is knowing what you could influence: expenses, payroll, and timing. Control turns into uncertainty into choice. So when you turn uncertainty into choice, into choosing, you have a reference point of being. And this is where I say to client business owners is that what you want to do is have a business plan. Because when something fails or something is not going right, you get to go to that area of business. What control enables is decisions happen sooner, stress decreases, leadership becomes proactive, and control replaces reaction without intention. Now, why am I sharing all of this? You have to want to change. You have to want to make a lot of money. You have to want to make it easier. You have to want to, and you may be listening to it and be like, of course, Margot, I want to listen, make a lot of money. But it could be more about being and who you are than working harder, pushing, and forcing. And when you follow these steps, it happens. It's like crystal clean energy. The last part of this is confidence. Confidence comes from trusting your numbers, clean inputs, simple systems, consistent review. Confident CEOs decide without hesitation. So I'll share again around our guest speaker. He's just deciding because he has clarity on what he wants to do and his decisions support the vision of the business. See how simple that is? Why confidence breaks? Confidence breaks and erodes because numbers change unexpectedly, like you're not monitoring it. So it's just kind of like a wild goose. Systems feel fragile, surprises are common. Uncertainty does drain leadership faster than bad results. And that uncertainty is what we need to pay attention to more than ever. So the 2026 CEO setup is set up one financial operating system for the year. That means financial snapshot, same format every month, so that it's not leaking into you of the daily leak time every day, every hour, every minute in your sleep. One clear view of cash available to operate, one person responsible to prepare, and if the format changes or ownership is unclear, clarity breaks. So just stick with one, because chances are you don't have none, or chances are you have something that's not working. The execution, run the same short monthly process all year each month. Review the snapshot for 15 minutes, decide one adjustment to make, confirm one action. You may have heard this story before, but I share it all the time. I remember my kids, not my kids, I was working with a therapist on things for nutrition, and she said to me, just one snack. She's like, you know how like everybody likes at the buffet when you have multiple options, multiple freeze, different ways of freeze. And when you just do one thing and you master it, you then build onto it. So small, consistent action are what keeps you ahead as a CEO. Winning CEOs don't wait for the certainty. They build structure early and lead from clarity, because then all of a sudden you're sitting into it, which is actually how I began the year. Stress drops when decisions stop living in your head because it's just free rent space. Let's win 2026 together. I invite you to book a free CEO tax and strategy session. Let's make sure your practice is built for calm, confidence decisions, not guesswork, not throwing spaghetti against the wall. And I invite you to take the link and really hang out with me a little bit. Let me be your CFO. Let us do your accounting and tax. We're officially accepting taxes right now, and we want you to come in. We want your help, and we want you to feel like you're going to win 2026. And if some of this was a lot and you're not sure, feel free to write the questions below. This was a more comprehensive training today, and you're going to see a lot of that going forward. And I hope you enjoyed this. Feel free to listen to it a few times and listen to it. And just take one thing. And I want to go back into this structure is financial operating system. A snapshot. We have this now for all of our clients where they get to do this, and it's just one thing and they're growing. Some of our clients need several, some of our larger clients that have more going on, but even if it's more businesses, it's like one thing within each area. So I trust and I hope you enjoyed this all. Please let me know how I could be of service, how I can help. I love the DMs coming around what you're interested in and things. And what I'll say is like this, come on the call, let's talk. There's no stress, there's no pushing, there's no forcing. We just want to help and be there for you. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned for the schedule. Please come to our guest speaker next week, and I look forward to talking to you more. Any questions, as always, let me know. I look forward to talking to you soon, and keep going.